There is spoiled milk on the counter back home. I know there are bigger things to worry about, and I know we had to leave in a hurry before they closed the roads, and I know I should focus on things in my control, like how your dad keeps putting the dog on the counter with her dirty paws, but I haven't said anything yet because it's not my house and we are their guests, but there is spoiled milk on our counter back in the city. The longer we stay out here, the worse it's going to smell. And then I start thinking, well, what about the neighbors? What if they're coughing and suffering from the virus already and just coughing up a lung when suddenly this rancid, moldy milk smell comes wafting up through the air ducts and an open window? And did we leave the window open? No, right? We wouldn't have done that. But what if we did? I mean, the whole place could be infected. We could get back there in a week or a month or whenever this is all over and all our stuff just has the virus crawling all over it. I'm not saying this house isn't lovely and your parents are really good sports letting us stay here, but babe, you've got like 20 NSYNC posters in that bedroom, so how your parents didn't know you were gay until law school is truly beyond me. It's hard enough knowing we escaped with our lives. I don't want Nick Lachey staring down at me while we're scrunched together, trying not to notice we're hard as rocks, stuck in this tiny twin bed from Pottery Barn Kids, because if we give in and do something, your parents might hear and they might think, really, they're screwing at a time like this? I know Nick Lachey was in 98 Degrees, that's not the point! That being said, it was really nice what you did to me the other day in the shower. When they lift the quarantine and we go back home, will we ever get rid of the smell of spoiled milk? Or is it going to linger forever and remind us of the months we spent wandering the same 10-meter circle around your parents' house for exercise? Do we have to learn to cope with the stench stinging our nostrils for the rest of our lives? Sorry, black coffee for me, love. No cream anymore, not since the virus. God, I miss that mean cafe waitress on our block. I miss cafes and coffee that doesn't taste like your mother's been hoarding it in the cellar for 8 years. I don't remember what it was like to not think about spoiled milk turning into green cheese. And I'm beginning to forget what it was like to sit on a torn vinyl seat and touch a greasy menu while not thinking about touching our food right after. Every time I hold your face, I have to think, did we wash our hands first? I'd rather think about how that stuffed giraffe on your bed has a worn away spot on his neck in the exact same spot you rub my neck every night as we fall asleep. And is now really the time to tell me you love me? Was it the Teddy Ruxpin staring at us in the corner that finally got you in the mood to say it? Christ, Paul, I know this is ridiculous, but I've been building up these last 2 months, 10 months, 2 days and 18 hours since I first said I loved you into this great big porny situation where you finally say it back to me and I melt into your arms like a Southern belle and we go up to your loft and I'm less embarrassed by the porn part than I am picturing myself fainting in one of those big puffy antebellum dresses. Do you think they got a lot of bugs in those dresses walking around carefree through the grass all day? How do you do pest control for 20 pounds of fabric? Grass. I miss grass. I miss that urban, clean-cut, chemical, vibrant grass in the parks. I keep thinking, what happens if this breaks us? Your father offered me his leftover radishes the other day. 3 years we've been together and neither of you can remember that I fucking hate radishes. They're just water chestnuts with a red coating. Your mother tried offering me a joint and I almost took it. I could hear my therapist in the back of my head warning me that pot will only make my catastrophic thinking worse. And then I thought, what if she's laced it with a truth serum and asks me about our relationship and I slip up that I secretly hate her guts and hate her little doilies and she takes me out back and shoots me like a dog? So I guess my shrink has a point. What am I supposed to do if we don't survive this, or you decide you can't handle my mania and we finally call it quits and I have to deal with your parents not liking me anymore while still making me breakfast every day because I'm the asshole who quarantined with a boyfriend that took almost a year to say he loves me? Where do I end up if our love goes the way of this dairy on my counter while the country's on lockdown? I know you wouldn't kick me out, but do I sleep on the floor, out in the tool shed with the spiders and the dead wasps? Maybe I'll become king of the spiders, and when this is all over and all our friends are dead and the world has collapsed, I'll at least be king of the spiders, and I can barter with that. You bet I can. Here comes the king of the spiders. Maybe I can trade a tarantula for a clean jug of water. Imagine how far a daddy longlegs will go in our new economy. No, I'm not thinking about how many of our friends are infected, because if I think about how many of our friends are infected, I'll lose my shit. Rosa called me the other day with a fever and a bad cough, and her whole family can't touch the plates they send up to her without gloves, and everything has to be sterilized with bleach and alcohol, and she's locked in her room while her kids play downstairs and they call her on FaceTime like she's some flu-ridden Rapunzel. My shrink says to focus on what's only right in front of me. So that's what I'm doing. You are right in front of me. And we are locked in here together. The world is collapsing outside, but that is outside. You are not outside, and I am not outside. We are here. We are here. If I have to be outside, I want it to be with you. I'm trying not to think about the things I can't control, like the spoiled milk, or your tiny bed, or our dying friends, or whether or not your parents can hear us fuck, or how long until we can hold Rosa's hand again, or when we'll get to lie around in a crowded park. Or that yesterday I started running a fever.